Okay, this is Ben Laube with the Ben Laube Homes team, brokered by eXp Realty. I'm here with our awesome agent, Kellie Blackwell, who joined the team just a few months ago. And so, Kellie, I want to introduce you to the world and broadcast you out there. So, to start you off, tell me, like, what's got you into real estate?
Well, I've been around real estate my whole life. When I was little, I grew up with my mom was a realtor for decades, and I used to accompany her to open houses and showings, and because I was quiet and reserved at the time, and so it was easy to bring me along, and I loved it. I loved seeing all the houses. I loved her interaction with clients, and so it's something I always wanted to do, and the timing just hadn't been right along the way. I started to do it some time ago, and then I got a job offer I couldn't refuse. And so now was just the right time.
So, what's your background? What was that like job offer or, life event that you picked?
Oh, well, for 9 years, I worked in the field of microbiology. So I was a clinical lab scientist. And but then what happened was all the labs kept merging around the state. And so it was either work at a hospital or find something else. So I jumped into the corporate world, and I traveled the world teaching labs how to go paperless. And that was a job offer I couldn't refuse, because I went from research pay to corporate world pay. And it was a great gig. I love travel. It's one of my passions. And so it was just a great fit.
See, every time I have a conversation with you, I learn like another reason why you're like the secret coolest person on our team. Don't tell the other team members that. They might think, but like they're just so fascinating. So that's so cool. So you're passionate about real estate. You've been around it. You've looked at it for quite a while. Your parents got into it growing up. What else are you passionate about besides real estate and travel? What like gives you that spark?
This is, so many realtors say this, but I do think our industry attracts people who say this. So it sounds cliche, but it's not. But my passion is helping people. So when I was little, I was a safety patrol, helping little kids cross into school safely in front of cars. When I was in middle school, I tutored a friend for free in math because she was struggling, just because I wanted her to do well. And then, like I said, I went into microbiology for the reason that I could help diagnose what was making someone sick, and also tell the doctor what to treat the person with based on testing. So everything I've done along the way has always been a means of helping someone. And real estate is just another facet of that, because to me, there's no better way to create wealth in your life than through real estate.
Mhm.
And you're helping people, part of that is going from renting to buying. So that facilitation along the way just speaks to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that falls right in line with one of our core values of the team is helping other people. I mean, real estate is not all about opening doors and cashing checks.
Right.
We don't do that as frequently as people think we do. But in reality, as we talk about on our team with the education component and how we meet every day, and focus on education, we want to educate our customers, right? We just don't want them to sell them a house. We really want to better them through this next transition of their life. So
Absolutely. And even helping other agents. I mean, one of the things about our team is we all help each other. And I like when I can share something that I know, some little nugget, with someone who doesn't know that. And then in exchange, I'm learning from them. So there's so
yeah.
many areas that comes into play.
So was that like one of the reasons that brought you to the team or eXp? Or what attracted you to, eXp?
100%. Like, first off, you have a compulsion to be organized, which just, as a scientist, speaks to my heart. Like, I just, you have your university and having the little steps that this is step 1, step 2, step 3, and how to, get on board and become a realtor is the bomb. And then, yeah, the team is just, I kind of was a little bit of a spy for a while, listening in. And so, yeah, just the camaraderie, the willingness for everyone to help each other with whatever little bit of expertise they have in a certain area.
A compulsion to be organized.
Yes, that's a nice way of saying
Nice. That I'm
OCD.
OCD. Yeah, very OCD. Yeah, no, totally. I don't mind being OCD. I mean, like, people say like, oh, I mean, the OCD of organization can't be too much of a bad thing, right?
No, it's not. I think it's awesome. It's like complete awesomeness. So
Yeah, it's like, when the worst thing happens, there'll be a plan written somewhere.
exactly.
Like, my funeral will be planned out 25 years in advance, detailed with a time calendar, and everything will be organized and paid for prior.
I already have very specific notes of people. I will not be this and that at my funeral. So
Exactly. So the funny part is my computer and my planning is detailed oriented and stuff, but my office no one can see because that.
Oh yeah. So I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I used to be the neat freak with my desk even, and my mom came over at some point. She goes, "What happened to you?" Because she saw my desk. Yeah.
Well, we all have our moments, I guess. So in the past, you joined the team back in
Wasn't until January 18th, actually.
January 18th. Man.
Yes.
So it was so just over 2 months, right? We're coming up on 2 months, if I can do math. So I know you've been involved with real estate prior to that. So what are you seeing happening in the market in general, right? And in the last 2 months, what's been like one of the biggest struggles you've overcome, in your real estate career?
Okay, so part one, it is not my mother's real estate. That's what's happening today. And the pandemic facilitated it even further, which is, everything being digital. Like we were already headed to digital signing and all, but even more so as title companies and lenders and things were shutting down offices and needed to find a new way to do things. It's become even more so. And then also pandemic driven was the numbers of people we had moving here. We've always had thousands moving to Florida daily, but it really ramped up. And that was driven by people seeing that the pandemic was going to have them with winter coming. They were going to be stuck inside and couldn't go outside. So they started coming to Florida in droves, knowing we have temperate winters. So even if they had lockdown, they could get out, outside and into space. So it's been the Wild West, not only the digital part, but the fact that there's so many buyers and not enough people selling.
Mm-hmm.
That's driven by the mortgage rates, the numbers coming, moving down here, and then not enough homes because I think sellers in part were holding back from having people walking through their homes. And so there's a big gap there. So when we're working with buyers, the multiple offer scenario is insane.
Yeah. Yes. It's very real. And I think you make a good point that a lot of people locally don't realize is it's very competitive out there. I mean, we have people who had second homes from New York, New Jersey, upstate, or California who are now deciding to make those second homes permanent homes or find permanent homes here. Even our listing in Lake Mary that is going under contract today had a lot of interest, and even the last 6 showings were buyers who were from out of state.
Right.
I mean, the influx of out of state buyers into Central Florida is huge. And I think that's a very good point. It doesn't mean people should get discouraged, but I think that's a good sign for us because it's going to stay consistent and keep our market moving, whereas other parts of the country could be affected negatively if interest rates do go up later this year, right?
Right. Buyers just need to have patience, and we are predicting that more sellers will come about this year as the year goes on. So it's a great place for Florida. And the other thing about eXp is, since we have agents all over the place, we can help them get connected with a really great agent to help sell their home wherever they're coming from. New York, New Jersey, doesn't matter, even globally. So it's really exciting. And then the other part of your question was my challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So really, the overriding that has held me back a little bit was the accident I had last year, and the fact that I have been about 4 months getting over a concussion, from the sense of just nausea and things that made it hard for me to predictably know if I could work with someone in a given day. So I've been a slow start with eXp as a result, but I'm super excited because I'm basically back now. So
I've noticed.
yeah.
You're back to 100% and you're on top of it.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And I mean, we always tend to take our health for granted. And I think that we had a serious heart to heart, early on when you joined us. And what did I say your priority was?
Number one was health above everything else. And you had to keep driving that home to me. It's easy in real estate there's just so much to do all the time, right? So it's hard to be diligent about that. And so it's frustrating having to wait and be patient. As we discussed, buyers being patient, it's hard to be patient as a patient. So yeah, it's a process, but I'm really happy to be at a point not to have to focus on that so much.
Absolutely. So fantastic. And so last question to share with everyone, now that you're back and at 100%, what are your goals for the rest of the year? I know you just started with the team 2 months ago, but share with the world, where do you want to be at the end of 2021 besides traveling a lot more? I know that's definitely on the list.
Right.
But
well, from a real estate perspective, I don't know all the goals, but at a minimum, I'd like to help 6 families, or whatever the word family means to people, move from renting to buying, like start that journey on realizing how much value owning gives them in terms of wealth. Like, if they're renting, they might as well go once a month to the garbage can and dump $2,000 into the bucket and then take it out to the curb, because they're never getting it back. And if they buy, that money will come back when they sell. And so there's just no better way. I mean, I've done mortgage loans for many years. And because I wanted to help people get into buying, like, it's such a big deal. And so if I could help someone by lending that money, being the bank, I did. I don't do it now because of Dodd-Frank. It's changed the rules a little bit, but there are ways for private lenders still, but I'm just not in that arena anymore. I want to be an agent. But yeah, so helping, a minimum of 6 families to make that transition, irregardless of anything else I do in the real estate world.
But you bring up a great point that everyone should know, is you have a background in real estate investing, right? Which is not a background that a lot of agents have, right? You are an experienced investor in yourself. And there's multiple ways to make money in real estate, whether especially from an investment standpoint, if you buy your primary property, you fix it up, you build equity, or you wholesale properties where you find someone in need and you wholesale it to a flipper, or you work with a flipper, or you flip properties yourself, or if you do private lending, or if you buy long-term rentals, or if you buy short-term rentals, or vacation home communities, or if you create a property management company. We could go on and on about the many ways to make money in real estate. And
absolutely.
I mean,
and you find the one that works for you, right? Because I've also been a landlord. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I like getting the mortgage money and not having to fix things. So, but there's so many ways, and there's one that can speak to anybody, whatever that is.
Yes. And you're versed in those different ways that people should know about that, because they can rely on you. And I think that's so awesome that your goal is to help those families start from renting and get their first investment property, which is their primary property, and make that transition, because that's really the first step to really build your real estate empire. So
right.
You now just told me I need to change the title on this video, and it's going to be Building Your Real Estate Empire with Kellie.
I like it.
There we go. So awesome. Well, I know I can't take all your time. But do you have anything else you want to share with the world before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
we're good.
So if people want to reach out to you, what's the best phone number for them to call or text you at?
407-890-1842.
Bam, reach out to Kelly if you have any questions, and thank you all for tuning in.
Thanks so much.